All right, let's see what she does here. And it lofted the hell out of it, right? Oh yeah, she sees it. There's our SAM site. She's got it. What's up, YouTube? I've got a banger for you today because we're back in DCS and we're going to be doing some SEAD training in the Viper or the F-16 SEAD. This plane was built for the SEAD role. I absolutely love it. I'm a firm believer in training for things, different scenarios in DCS. It's not for everyone, right? Like if you just want to get in and fly, then go for it. But I'm a firm believer in the motto, fight like you train, train like you fight, especially in DCS with some of these more complex aircraft, right? And then you add on to that, doing this across multiple aircraft, it can get really confusing and you can get kind of foggy with it. So we're just going to do a refresher. We're going to learn some new systems. We're going to be doing the position mode with the harm. We're not taking the harm targeting pod. You don't have to have that. For a long time I thought you did. I'm still learning stuff all the time in this game and I've had it for a really long time. So let's hop back in the airplane and we'll see about getting her up and running, and then we'll talk some more about this stuff. So we're going to go through the whole 9 yards, right? Everything. So let's go ahead and get our battery on main power. Let's do JFS to start 2. Let her spool up in the sec light to go out. So let her get up over 20 here and the sec light to go out. And we can hit right shift home to add fuel. All right, she's coming up. All right, sec light just went out. We're good. All right, right shift home and throttle's going to go to idle. And you see the engine's coming on up. Yeah, I like doing, like, there's tons of tutorials that show you, like, in snippets how to do this, but I really like the whole 9 yards, the bigger picture, like how you apply everything, right? Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and lower the canopy. For noise purposes, I love listening to the engine. It's awesome, but we need that down. Okay, there you go. Got it locked. All right, let's go ahead and get our avionics going. Let's do MMC, ST station, MFD, UFC, GPS, data link. Let's do stored heading. Got that. We're gonna do the quick alignment. Let's I like to turn console zone once again, just for anything that might be in shadow. We're gonna leave fire control radar and radar altimeter off for now. Let's go up here, uncage you. That this guy, it should be 29 or 902, I think. Is it? Yeah, that looks right. 1800 feet. Get our HUD up. Scroll sim up. There we go. Clear U out. Let's get chaff and flare zone. RWR. Jammer. Power. Go to standby for now. Let's get our helmet mounted display going. Radio on both. Let's turn threat down just a little bit. When you turn that down, let's turn down ILS. And TACAD. Let's go to IFF, put it on norm. All right, I think we're good for now. Let her finish aligning. Go pull helmet mounted display down. There we go. So we're doing the full 9 yards, the correct departure and everything. We'll do the flex turnout. And we'll head out to the range. We're going to the EC ranges on the west side. Okay, it's flashing a line and ready, so she's good on that. Let's go ahead and right click to nav. Sweet, that's good. Let's go hover left to return. Let's go time. GPS system is up, so we can go mids LVT on. That's good. Let's go back to list. Data link. Turn that on. With hitting 1 turns it on. Sync is fine. We're good on that. Let's go back to list. Go back to miscellaneous. Let's activate bullseye. Go 8 for bullseye. Bullseye is waypoint 25. It's already automatically loaded in. Let's do M-cell. Nice. Okay, we've got bullseye. Let's go back. Miscellaneous. HMCS. Dauber right. M-cell on course. Oh, we gotta pull it back up. Never mind. Here we go. Back up. Now we got it. Let's recenter track R just a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. Should be aligned perfectly. We'll see. Hit M-cell again. Go down to as elevation. M-cell. Perfect. Good enough for me. Let's go ahead and check roll as well. Yeah, that's good. Don't need to mess with that. All right, let's return back. Let's go back to list, double check, make sure there's nothing else we need to do. We got bullseye set. We got HMCS, our helmet mount display. Go back to list one more time. Go to CMDS. And let's dauber right. So once to program 1. So it's basically dumping one chaff bundle for a sequence of 10 times each press. I don't want that, right? You'll blow through it in no time. Let's just do 1 for 1. So enter 1, enter. Dauber right one more time for flares. It's going to do 1 for a sequence of 10 times. Yeah, we don't want to do that either. Let's do 1 and 1. You can set these up however you like. Sometimes I do like program 1 may just be chaff and program 2 may just be flares, and then 3 might be both, right? It just depends on what you want to do. That's all good. Let's return out of that. So I think we're set with that. Let's hop out and double check the aircraft real fast. So yeah, we've got 2 AGM-88s, 3 AIM-120 Charlies, 1 AIM-9X, and we've got the long ECM pod on the center there. No lightning, no harm targeting. Don't need all that. Don't need any of that. All right, let's just double check everything here. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Arm the ejection seat. That's good. Yeah, I think everything else we can do on the way. All right, let's go ahead and crack the throttle. Go test the nose wheel. There you go, looking good. Go ahead and stop right here, and I will calibrate my joystick. Always, this thing is old as old can be. It's like a 20-year-old joystick. It really just is. I got this thing in 2002 for a jump to light speed on Star Wars Galaxies. This is how old it is. All right, get you centered up. Wipe it. Center. Throttle. Everything's good. All right, guys, I think we're set. Let's get out of here. When we hold short, we'll get pitot heat on, and we got our fire control radar and our radar altimeter on. Beautiful late evening at Nellis. So our targets is going to be a SA2. I set up a SA2 and an SA8. I said we'll talk about the harm stuff in a minute when we're transiting through the range. While we do this, if we want to see our ground speed, we can go back to list and we can do INS number 6, and there you go. It's going to be down the bottom right. Bottom right corner. We'll take off on 3 right. We're doing the flex turnouts. You gotta stay below 3,000 feet around the racetrack, and then cross flex at 4,000, and we can start climbing out from there. She's looking nice. She's the Misawa bird out of Misawa, Japan. I think it's the 14th. Fighter Squadron, the OG Wild Weasels, right? All right, let's set our parking brake. Get this stuff going. Fire control radar on, radar altimeter on. There we go. Pitot heats. Oops, not test on. All right, guys, I think we're set. Landing light on. Parking brake off. All right, let's go. Let's blast off and get out of here. Flex turnout, real life procedure. They do it in Ellis. Pretty cool. If you go to the racetrack and watch them, you get some really nice pictures. Really nice air show. Let's pull HMD down. Don't need that right now. All right, let's hold tight here for a second. Run power up to 90. All right, we got a good jet. Let off the brakes. Going to burner. For 90. I didn't even look at my weight. I guess I should have looked at my weight to calculate my takeoff speed. It's going to be about 160, give or take. There we go. A little bouncy on that. Nice. Out of burner for 300 knots. Keep her below 3,000 feet. Around the racetrack. Around the track for flex. Cross flex at or below 4,000. Like I said, this is a published procedure, so you can find it out there if you do a search for a flex turnout. I think flex was a shooting range. A little bit faster than I'd like. There it is. There's flex. Nice. All right, let's head direct fighter, right? I think it's fighter. Man, she's wanting to go. Let's pull speed back some more here. All right, we passed flex at or below 4,000. Let's go ahead and go to steer point 2. Steer point 2. It's gonna be fighter. All right, go ahead and start climbing out. Let's get our ECM stuff warmed up. Let's go jammer priority. So it's going to be position 2 when that switch there. It's got 1, 2, and 3. 3 is going to be barrage, where it just transmits all the time. 1 is going to be radar priority, and 2 is going to be jammer priority. Let's go standby, and that should be good. Let's get these going. Nice, that should be good. Go to semi. Oh, good thing I looked. Good thing I looked on that. Holy cow, that would have been bad. We would have had a bad day. We'd have had to file a mishap report after we punch out. She's just a little bit asymmetrical with the with the two AIM-120s on one wing and the AIM-9X on the other wing. You wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but it does. Makes a big difference. Let's do attitude hold, and let's do steering select. Nice. Now she's good. Let's do the auto sequencing on our waypoints. It's something else you can do. You can go to steer points, knob her down until it's over here on manual, and then you hit what is it, 0? Yeah, M-cell, and it'll put it on auto. So now it'll automatically steer itself between waypoints. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll do that for a little bit. Let her continue to climb out. Push our speed up. Now, if we had a wingman, now is when he'd be seeing about joining up with us, right? We're climbing out nice and easy and slow, sipping on the gas. I see more complaints about the Viper. People complaining about how she doesn't have a lot of gas, right? And like, if you fly her right, she's fine. I don't ever have any problems with it. I just sip the gas. Take 2 bags with you. 2 bags is pretty standard for the Viper, honestly. Like, you see them more with 2 bags than anything else. Nice. She looks good, right? Man, she looks good. Yeah, just throw a couple bags on there and sip the gas. It's not a big deal. It's really not. Gas is not a problem in this plane. Gas is really not a problem in any of them if you're easy with it. Like, if you stay in the burner all the time, yeah, she's going to go through gas like no tomorrow. This is also based off a real-life flight plan. That's a stereo flight plan that they have that they can pre-file. So see, we're 9 nautical miles outside of Strike, or I mean Fighter. Strike's all the way back. So we'll go Fighter, and then I think we go the Beatty 130 for 30. That's another waypoint, and then we go Flush, and then Garth, and Garth puts us where we need to be as far as our range, which is basically going to be over that way. Area 51 would be back over there. Kind of those mountains in the distance would be kind of behind it a little bit. Maybe more back that way. Pull up F10. We'll show you the route real fast. There we go. So yeah, this is our route. Okay, yeah, we go Fighter, and then we go Beatty 100 for 30, and then we hit Flush, and then we hit Garth, and this is going to be our EC ranges over here. Area 51 is right, almost exactly due north of us there. Not a bad route. So today we're going to be working with 2 things specifically with the HARB. For one, there's no HTS pod, and for the longest time I would fly and I felt like I needed the HTS pod to do anything, and you really just don't in this airplane. You don't have to have it. The thing I noticed was like sometimes you get on these PvE servers and you would load in at a base and there would be no HTS pod. Either because there's just not one available at that particular base, or maybe it's out of the time period for the server, right? Some of them are the 80s servers, so they don't have HTS pods either available. So, but, you know, I would get in and I'd see that. I'd see, hey, there's no HTS pod. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to fly SEAD today, you know, because I didn't know how to do anything with the harm. The harm is censored, basically, right? You could do HAZ mode, but we're going to do position mode, and then we're going to do pre-brief and RUK sub mode. So with position mode, you need a waypoint in the vicinity of your target. That's the only thing. So you got to have a little intelligence or a little bit of a picture as far as what's going on to know where these sites are at. And that's kind of the tricky part, honestly, with this, especially on some of the PvE servers, is not knowing, not like having that information like readily available if you have fog of war or something like that. But let me pull it up here so I read it. So position mode is, let's go. Yeah, I don't want to do that, it's too loud. Let's just freeze it here. Sweet. So position mode is a pre-planned employment mode that relies on a steer point being placed at or near the target radar emitter. We're going to do pre-brief first on the SA2 because I know basically where it's at. Of course, I put it down, so there's no reason not to know. But pre-brief sub mode is the most effective profile at longer ranges, but requires an on-bearing attack. So on-bearing means that we basically got to be pointed at the target when we launch, right? By default, PB uses an existing steer point as a target reference. So basically, it's going to launch the harm in the vicinity of that waypoint that you tell it to. And then at some point, the harm's going to start looking for the radar emitter, right? It's going to start looking around that waypoint. So to launch with PB selected, the pilot must first turn the aircraft point at the target, then fly to the AMZ aircraft maneuver zone, and then loft and launch once within the missile maneuver zone. PB is most effective at longer ranges, but requires aircraft to fly directly at the target. So it's a little dicey, right? Like, you got to fly at the target, but you can get a really nice long-range shot off with this thing. Yeah, I like the PB mode. I like the PB mode. The kicker is you've got to have a waypoint pretty dang close to where it's going to be at. The other one we're going to use, so I know the position of the SA2. I've got a waypoint relatively close to it. There's an SA8 not too terribly far away. It's a few miles away. So we're going to use RUK mode for it. RUK mode is another position mode, range unknown. Sub mode is the most versatile profile when working with degraded target data, mainly in situations where you have a general idea where the target is, but with a significant uncertainty about its location. So you know roughly where it's at, the vicinity, right? But you don't know exactly where it is. The harm in RUK mode can look for targets within 20 nautical miles of the selected steer point. Used for reference. To launch with RUK selected, the pilot must fly the aircraft into the MMZ missile maneuvering zone, where the missile can make all required maneuvering to reach the target. RUK is more tolerant of inaccurate target steer points or when fighting threats where only the bearing information is available. So yeah, RUK, there's a third mode too. There's equation of motion, but we're not going to get into that. EOM, basically the thing to me is you can do some crazy off-board shots with it. Like the SAM could be behind you and you could be flying away from it, but as long as you're within the range and meet the parameters, you can shoot the SAM and it'll turn around and go behind you and hit it. So it's a pretty cool mode, right? We're not going to do that though. For us, it's going to be pre-briefed and RUK, range unknown. All right, so let's go ahead and okay, we're good with that. Let's go. Can we fence in yet? Are we in yet? Just about. Yeah, we're just now crossing, so we'll fence in. Let's see, we got all this stuff on. Let's go jammer to operate. Get it active. We're in a semi mode. Program 1. We've got RWR and jammer on. That looks good. Let's go master arm on. Let's go air to ground. Let's power up our arms. Arms have been powered up. Let's go back to HSD. Let's go over here to the left and we're going to hit FCR. And we're going to pick a weapon. That is for our arm seeker, right? Basically. We're in HAS mode, so that's harm is seeker. Let's go position. And let's do pre-brief starting out. And we need to go UFC. And we're going to, like, this sets up table 1. So right now we're on table 1 for our our harm seeker, right, is basically what it's looking for. It's looking for SA-10s, big birds, clamshells, SA-11, and snowdrifts. We're not shooting at any of those. We want to shoot at an SA-8 and SA-2. So this sets up our harm table for table 1. There's multiple tables you can do. You can do table 1, 2, 3. So we're going to customize table 1, right? So we're going to type in 126, which should be the SA-2. Yes, it is SA-2. Dauber down to the next one, and we're going to do 117. And it's going to be SA-8. So yeah, we're shopping for an SA-2 right now. And then eventually we'll go after the SA-8 when we're done getting the SA-2. Hopefully this will work. I hope it does. We'll see. Zoom in a little bit. We're about to hit up our steer point here. Go back the other way, dude. It always why is she going that way? Why is she not cycling to the next one? Yeah, that's a little bit wonky. I don't use the auto sequence that much. Yeah, I don't do auto sequence a lot. Obviously she's a little bit wonky with that. In fact, let's go back to steer points. Power down, select you, go back to manual. Okay. Yeah, we don't need auto. We'll just do it ourselves. Now you can see she's giving us a shoot cue. And she's telling us, all right, these are the brackets. These are your range bracket right here. As long as you're within this right here, it's going to be a good shot. You're within range. And it's giving us a loft cue, like we need to loft to 21 degrees nose up. So it's giving us a shoot cue. But right now, because we've got waypoint 5 or steer point 5 selected, it thinks that we're going to be shooting at steer point 5 and looking for a SA-2 over there. As you see on the harm page here, it's saying that we're looking for an SA-2. And we're looking for it around steer point 5. So it's looking. There's nothing over there though, right? Like there's nothing to shoot at over there. This is going to be the next steer point after that, but it doesn't know that. All right, let's go ahead and get altitude hold. Try to get some of this speed up a little bit. Yeah, the first time I did pre-brief in this jet, it kind of surprised me, like the shots that you could get off. You can get some nice long range shots. All right, but the thing is, and this is the part that I'm still figuring out, some of these PvE servers that you play, like they have fog of war. So you look at the F10 map, you don't see anything. You have no clue where anything is at. There's several that are like that. Gray Flag's a little better in the sense that it kind of gives you the rough locations of the SAM sites, especially on the Syria map, and then you can kind of zoom in on the map and you can see roughly where the emplacements would be, so you can kind of get a rough idea on that. But it's not very good for the mobile stuff, right? Like the SA-8s, those things are highly mobile. They can move anywhere. And I think like in real life, you wouldn't have a whole lot of intelligence as far as like where those SA-8s are at, because they are so mobile. So they may say, hey, there's an SA threat in this vicinity, but we don't know exactly where it's at. So if you don't have a position, a waypoint for that, then you know you would have to use HAZ mode, I guess, because all the pre-brief, RUK and EOM all have to have some kind of waypoint within the vicinity of the threat. Like I guess you could use RUK and it gives you 20-mile radius, right? You know, you'd have 20 miles to do it, but that's the hard part about it. I wish there was a way that you could get a waypoint off of your HSD, because you know where it's at. Like looking at your HSD here, you know where it's at, right? We know it's over there. Like you could you can make your HSD soy, go back to it, and then you know you can move your cursor around. You can't do this. I wish you could. I wish there was some way you could do it, but you really just can't. We could get the bullseye. Like, we might could use the T-pod. If we had a T-pod, that would be an option, but otherwise, I don't know. All right, let's go steer point 6, and let's go off of you. Let's turn in. Master arms on. Master arm on. Master arm on. Gotta turn in on it here.
Counter.
Oh, she's looking at us. We're just going to get in. Like, we could take the shot now. We can nose up 23 degrees and take the shot, and more than likely it's going to hit it. We're going to be a little bit close. Like, we're well within range. Look there. Like, halfway. All right, let's go ahead and nose up. We got to go 21 degrees nose up. Going to burner. Come on, 21. 21, 21. All right, Magnum. SA2 bullseye, what was it, 240 for 54? I don't think that's right. Go ahead and start defending. We are jamming, we're transmitting on our jammer. Why it says no rad, it's not because we're lame. Alright, let's see what she does here. And it lofted the hell out of it, right? Oh yeah, she sees it. There's our SAM site. She's got it. Boom! Nice. We got it. Threat eliminated. Sweet. It's nothing like taking out a SAM site that's trying to shoot at you. It's very satisfying. Okay, let's go. We don't need a shot for you anymore. Let's go SA8. Now this is where it gets tricky. All right, it gets a little tricky with these short range sites. Let's do RUK. There we go. RUK mode. She's telling us we can shoot now. Like, we're within range. I think you can do RUK on off board too. That's the only thing I'm not sure on. I think you can, but I don't want to take that shot because we're nowhere near within his threat ring. There's no point in doing off board. All right, so we're looking for an SA8 at steer point 6. All right, see, she's offline. You don't see it on the RWR anymore, so she's not looking at us anymore. She absolutely has to be looking at you. It tells us we can shoot, but at this point, it's going to have nothing to look at. The harm seeker is not going to have anything to pick up, so we want it looking at us. There we go. It's back up. We're kind of above it, honestly. Like, we should probably lower our altitude just a tad so we can kind of tease it just a bit.
Counter. Counter.
1 second. There we go. All right, Mace 1 Magnum SA8 27156. All right, we're not in the threat rig for it, so we're good on that. See what she does. Come on, get it. Boom. Got it, nice. Easy peasy, guys. This is easy as that. It really just is. And with that said, we have no more harms. We have no more harms to dish out. Let's get this bad boy trimmed out a little better here. All right, we can get out of here. Head back to Nellis. Got trimmer just a little bit more. Good. Good, good. Master arm off. Air to ground off. Jammer on standby. And countermeasures on standby. Let's go 0.7. Yeah, it's as easy as that. I love it. I like, man, who needs an HTS pod? You don't have to have an HTS pod. Next time we'll do Haz mode. Haz is when you don't, you know, you wouldn't have a waypoint. You basically, you're just out freestyling it, right? Like you have no clue where anything is at. There you go. Let's fly towards, honestly, we could just go ahead and go towards guard or flush. Let's do that. Let's go steer point 8, flush. I burn off this fuel a little bit. There we go. That's going to be flush. All right, let's do 17.5 on the way back. Yeah, easy peasy. It really just is. Like, forever, I would always take the HTS pod with me and use it. You don't have to have it. I really, like, I don't even think I take it with me now. Honestly, like, you don't have to have that. I mean, it's nice, but it's definitely not a must. Yeah, I just wish, I wish there was some kind of a way you could get latitude and longitude waypoints off of your HSD, because like I said, we knew the location of those sites with our HSD. Let's say we didn't have any intelligence on the F-10 map to tell us that those were there. Kind of like it is now, right? Like there's nothing on this map to tell us. It's got fog of war. Like we had no clue that there's anything up there. We just have a target point. But we have no clue that it's up there. I think you could probably, you could put maybe a mark point down. Man, I don't know. I don't know if you could put, I don't think you can put a mark point off the HSD, honestly. I was thinking maybe you could put a mark point down and that you could do it with the ground radar, but not the HSD. Let's do 30 degrees, track while scan, and 2-bar scan. There we go. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. I gotta figure that out. I gotta hit up the forums unless one of you guys that watch this knows how to get waypoint. I was trying to think if there's a way that you could use your T-pod, like put your T-pod on it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would really work. Like, you could, but it's kind of a roundabout way. Really, yeah, it is. It's just a roundabout way to do that. All right, we're going direct flush, and then we go Jason, and then we go strike, Jordan, gas peak, apex, and then we come in for the overhead here at Nellis. Overhead is going to be, let's see, 1,500 feet. That's 20. I think it's 2,500 feet. I can't remember now. 25 or 24, something like that. Let's go next. Tier points. We'll do it manually. Either way, SEAD is an absolute blast in this airplane. I love it, man. She's just built for it. She really just is. It's okay in the Hornet, but I don't feel like you have the same kind of situational awareness. I mean, really, I guess it's pretty comparable when you don't have an HTS pod. When you do have an HTS pod, it's like night and day, but we have to do some SEAD work in the Hornet. So our fuel stay 86, 8.6. Gonna be a little bit heavy going back. Keep our speed up. All right, I was looking at our recovery, our published recovery. We got across strike. It's at or above 9,500. We're 10 out of that. At or above 9,500. Jordan, that's at or above 80, 95. Gas peak 85. Apex at or above 45. We'll just take her down to 15.5. There we go. There we go. 15.5. Go ahead and turn on course to our next one here. Steer points 10. Oh man, what a gorgeous day to fly. Look at that, even over the desert. Nevada maps, it's old, it's outdated. It definitely needs to be, I think, brought up to better standards. But in the late evening, man, you can't beat it. Look at that. The shadows and everything. F10 again real quick. Make sure which waypoint are we heading to. Strike. Now we're going to strike. That was Jason we just hit up. Now we got to hit strike. Okay. All right. 9.5 we're above for strike. Just flying along, enjoying the scenery. Go ahead and do steer point select. We can check out our bird here. Oh man, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Man, that is gorgeous, right? Nice. The Fighting Samurais. Said out of Misawa, Japan. I guess I'm pronouncing that correct. This is a stock texture, so it's not the greatest. Attack to defend. They are the OG Wild Weasels, though. It's nice. That is pretty sweet. Pretty slick. I love it, man. I love DCS, guys. I wish I need to do more content in DCS. Flying is my jam. I'd like to do Microsoft 2024 too. I'm not sure how this PC is going to do with that, to be honest. So there's Indian Springs. Thunderbird's practice area will be right over there. And Area 51 would be right past those mountains going left to right. It's cool to be flying around here and see it in such detail. That's the cool part about it. It's a map here. Dogbone Lake. Groom Lake, Area 51. Papoose Lake. Always been a huge Art Bell fan. Like, from the late 90s. I guess I started listening to Art Bell. My dad actually started listening to him. Probably, let's go waypoint 11. Probably 97, something like that. 97, maybe 98. My dad would listen to Art Bell. It got me into listening to it. It was always fascinating. I love hearing stuff about Groom Lake, Area 51. It's cool to be flying around here and like see those locations that they talked about. Okay, so steer point. This is going to be Jordan at 95. We're above. Gas Peak at 85. We're above. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and start descending a little bit here. There's Vegas. All lit up. Or not lit up. It should be. I wish it was lit up. Five out of Jordan. Let's go ahead and go Gas Peak. We need to be 85 or above. Then Apex is 45 and above. Finn is 4,000. We don't have a waypoint for Finn. I want to say the overhead is 3,500 here at Nellis. Kind of high. I think it is. I don't have it in front of me. Damn it, Spur. You didn't properly prepare. There's 1.5 out of Gas Peak. Let's go ahead and go. Apex. There's Nellis. Alright, Apex at or above 45. There's Phil in sight. Make sure everything's trimmed out good. Looks good. Let's go back. There we go. Have to go back the other way a little bit since she's just slightly asymmetrical. On the RPM looks good. Let's go ahead and turn her in. Go down to 4. Your leg her a little bit, go down to 35. I hate doing the overhead at Nellis. I don't know why. It always jacks me up for some reason. Maybe it's not 35. Maybe we're a little bit low. I don't know. That looks about right. All right, there we are. 35. We'll do 2-1 right. Oh man, what a beautiful rival. I just wish Nellis was all lit up better. Our fuel state's what, 7.9? Yeah, she's a little on the heavy side. Back to 80, just a hair over 80 since we got 2 bags. Right hand brakes I suck at too. All right, looking for about 030. There we go, good enough. All right, gear, speed brakes. Bring her back out a little bit. More power. I think we got to swing north of the racetrack before we could turn back in. Like I said, I need to read this stuff more. Yeah, she's heavy. She definitely flies heavy, that's for sure. All right, speed out. A little bit high. The 2.5 on the threshold. There we go. Nose up. Nose up. Nose up. A bit more, low power. Start bringing power out. Sweet. Keep the nose up. Nose up, nose up, nose up. Nose up. Alright, dropper. Full aft stick. Those stabilizers do a little work for us. Try to go to the cold side of the runway here. Do that in case you got a wingman following you in, right? You go to the cold side. The cold side would be the exit side. Hot side would be the off side. Speed brakes back in. Nose wheel steering engaged. And we'll exit. Taxi lights. Nice, guys. That was it. That was our little training mission with our pre-brief in RUK. I absolutely love those. I think next time we'll do harm is sensor, which basically isn't waypoint centered, right? With pre-brief and RUK, you got to have a waypoint in the vicinity of your targets. With harm is sensor is where you just go out and just like completely freestyle shopping for targets. You don't know any location or anything like that. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe, ring that bell. Love all of you. We'll catch you out there next time. Peace. No, big cat, no. Oh no, no, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over us. Okay, it's the weirdest day ever. Oh no, he just fell. He just.